I used to think having your first baby was the scary part. First pregnancy, first time giving birth, postpartum. And yes, the unknown is scary. But you go into it with so much hope and faith, and honestly, you just don't know enough to be afraid of anything other than maybe birth pain. What we don't really talk about is having another baby. In this video, I want to talk about what it can be and feel like to have, or even just think about having another child. The unspoken fears, the unsolicited advice, remarks, and simply that it's not just popping out another baby. Just because it's all not such a big unknown anymore, doesn't make it any less scary. I would even go so far and assume and say that for many moms, the second, third, fourth time around might be even harder, might be even more to handle. And just to be clear, this is not a fear-driven video. I'm not trying to spread fear. If anything, it's supposed to do the opposite. If you're a mom going through that, I hope that you'll feel seen and understood. And if you have family and friends who are expecting another child or might be thinking about having another one, I hope this sheds some light on their situation and might give you an insight what the parents, especially the mom, might be feeling, thinking, going through. Obviously, this is not to generalize. I can only speak from my own experience and from what I've heard from other moms in my life. Everybody's experience might be different. So I'm not saying I know what you or the people in your life are feeling and going through. I'm just saying I believe it's also important to address this side of having another child. There's an emotional reality most moms don't talk about. There might be quite thoughts and fears living in the back of your mind. And you know it's not panic, it's not negativity. It's simply awareness. At the same time, you might be thinking or even carrying the guilt of, I should only be excited, I should just be so grateful, I should just look forward to it all. But yet, the fear might still be there. And it's valid and it's normal, and that's why I want to talk about it. So let's at least mention and acknowledge some of the fears that no one says out loud. So there's secondary infertility, which means you cannot conceive or carry a pregnancy to term after having given birth before. And it's a real thing, it's a real fear, which you might have not thought about it prior to having kids. And a lot of people around you might just assume, okay, they had one kid, they might just have another one, which often is not the case, which might not be the case, but it is a real fear that sits in the back of many women's mind. Or it's simply a fact, a reality that many couples have to face after having had a child or children before. Then there's birth trauma. Obviously, if you went through a traumatic birth before, you might be scared that it will happen again, or it will be even scarier and even worse. Whether it's physically, which I can only assume also affects your spiritually and emotionally, mentally so much. But even if it objectively or medically speaking went well and smoothly and fast, you might still feel like you had a traumatic birth. Spiritually, emotionally, like your needs might not have been met. Somebody might have said something or done something that truly traumatized you and made you in the most vulnerable moment feel attacked or in any way bad or unsafe or scared for yourself or your own health or your child's health. That might make it even harder to express and put into words and make people understand, might be even more isolating. So whether you had a traumatic birth, you might be afraid that it will happen again. And if you birth went smoothly and you just, after giving birth, are exposed to so many other stories and you hear and see and read what can happen, what did happen to other women, how they felt or were treated, and then you just are aware of what can happen and you might be a little bit afraid that, okay, my first time went so well, like what if right now I'm gonna experience what my friend or my family member experienced. So a traumatic birth is definitely a real fear for many moms. There's pregnancy complications. Now you just know what all the tests mean and what other moms went through. You might have had your own issues in a previous pregnancy or pregnancies. And of course, the outcome, however it was in your past, you might be afraid it will be repeated if it was a negative outcome. And if everything went well after all, you may still carry this heavy feeling of like, what if this time something does not go as good as previously? Obviously, it's not just, oh, she's pregnant again. And yes, there might be a portion of moms who have like 5 kids and all their pregnancy were amazing and they felt great and they just, everything was perfect. I don't know if those unicorn moms and pregnancies exist. If they do, that's amazing. But I feel for the majority of women who have more than one child, one of the pregnancies is not the dream, not the complete dream. And again, that's a valid fear. Another fear that as good as no one says out loud, even though like in general as a public we might be speaking more about it so people know this exists, but personally, privately, very rarely does somebody truly open up about that or feels safe to open up about those things, which are postpartum anxiety, postpartum rage, postpartum depression. And again, whether you fear that you will experience that again or you fear that you will experience that now for the first time. And obviously then come all the fears connected to simply having more than one child. Fear of loving you both kids equally and being present for both kids equally, to the financial part of things, even the space in your house, your home, your apartment, the schedules, the routines, all of that, everything that's connected to just having one more child to tend to care for, to love. And again, this can be a real fear, even though you're so excited you're gonna have another person living in your home, even though you're so excited to just pour out your love onto them, even though you're so excited you're giving your child a sibling or another sibling. Again, this is a fear that can coexist with the excitement, with the gratitude, with the knowing that it's such a blessing. And it's a valid fear. And then lastly, I wanna address the fear of going through the newborn phase again, now with having also to take care of a toddler or multiple toddlers or a teenager and a toddler, whatever the age of your other child or kids is. And not only that, but then usually just the lack of support or understanding of this kind of fear, because you've done it before, you know, you're a pro now, you know how to, you went through it once, you can do it again. Yeah, technically, but you might still be freaking out about it. The newborn phase might have been so hard on you the second time around, was not your favorite phase, and just thinking about going through all of that again might keep you up at night. And I think, again, super valid fear, and you should feel seen and heard and understood in that and be able to express your feelings about the newborn phase and going through it again. And the list might probably go on. Feel free to add any fears you might have or think of in the comments below. I believe a lot of moms might be carrying those similar fears in the back of their mind somewhere if they're having or wanting to have another child, and just might feel unseen and misunderstood in all of that, or like just, okay, I have to be confident now. I'm supposed to be confident now. I'm supposed to know what I'm doing. Let me just do it. It's not as simple, is it? This brings us to the, I would almost say, weird pressure to just be fine the second or any other following time around. People treat second time moms, I don't even know how to call it, like some sort of experts. And it's great if somebody is truly confident in you, in your abilities, and reminds you of your strength, and just thinks and tells you that you're the best mom ever, while offering help, offering support, giving you room for conversation, to share about your fears or whatever it may be, feeling understood and seen and heard, versus simply just dropping something like, oh, you've done it before, not a big deal, you already know what to expect, and you also have old clothes and whatever you need from, you know, baby number 1, 2, 3 or whatever. Any comment really that implies that it's not a big deal, you're just gonna pop out another baby and just shush her, like, shut up. No fears, no worries, nothing that needs to be talked about or helped with, just you done it before, so not a big deal. But again, now you actually might be more worried and more scared just because you know the truth, or you went through certain unpleasant things. You know how emotional pregnancy can be, how unpredictable labor may be, how hard and long recovery may be, that your life will shift again. And now on top of that, you have to think about and take care of another child or multiple kids. It's like the emotional load doubles. So yes, the fears are real, the traumatic memories are real, the what ifs are real. Maybe I wouldn't call it dishonest, but like unnecessary, maybe, to act or force yourself to act like it's just another time. And there's also another side to all of this. And yes, it's probably a video for another time. That's like a whole different topic, a whole different side to it. But I just need to state it again. There is another side to all of it. And just the healing that can come from having another baby, I believe can be just on another level. My second baby completely healed my birth trauma from my first birth, even though physically, medically, it went well, smooth, both times, but quicker, easier the first time around. Mentally, the second time, how I was treated and spoken to, and just all the circumstances, all of it, healed me on so many levels. And then after, of course, loving both kids and seeing that you are more confident in certain parts, you do know certain things, and you can just chill out about something that before you were like so frightened or obsessed over. It's beautiful. There is a lot of healing and a lot of confidence, a lot of power, a lot of beauty, a lot of love and peace that comes from having another child. So definitely want to state it here. Like I said, this is not a video to make anybody scared or overthink even more having another child. It's just, I think it's important to address. And I just don't like the narrative of like somebody even looking down, sometimes even just looking down on moms who have like 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, as if it's like, oh, she popped out another one. Oh, they're just having another baby. It's never just having another baby. The whole process of pregnancy, birth, postpartum, and then raising your kids, it's years. It's years, and it takes a toll on you physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And it's important that you feel understood and seen and heard in all of that. So just a few words of encouragement. You are getting a chance to experience things differently, maybe in a more grounded way, maybe calmer, maybe just in any sort of way safer. You might know your body better now. You might know your needs better now. And you might now have the confidence or the language to express your needs and advocate for yourself the way you wish you would have done the first time around, or somebody else would have done for you the first time around. Just a lot of room for a beautiful, beautiful new experience. And one more thing I absolutely have to address. Unless you know somebody deeply, intimately, personally, you know details of their previous pregnancy and birth and postpartum and all of that, you truly feel like you know them and you can speak about stuff like that. Maybe you can drop random comments here and there. You know your relationship, your dynamic. You can say whatever you want and you know what to say. But unless you know somebody on that level, all the comments of like, oh, when you're giving your child a sibling, or when you're gonna have another one, or now you just need a boy, or now you just need a girl. Those comments, no. So unnecessary, so out of place. So like, unless somebody publicly, openly, happily states we are one and done, okay, then you know what they're dealing with, what their position is, what they want and what they're going through. But if you don't know somebody that you can have an open, vulnerable conversation with, just telling another mom or another parent like randomly to have another child and asking them when exactly they will have another girl, but maybe they are trying for a boy now and they're having fertility issues, it's just beyond me. So please don't drop those kind of comments to random people you barely know. And if you're a mom yourself who got those comments, I hope you just not let them get to you, and just know that those people don't know what they don't know, and just move on from that. Like, don't even give it a second thought. They should not have said that. Most people just have no idea what somebody is carrying privately, from, again, fear, trauma, loss, financial issues, relationship issues, health conditions, infertility, miscarriages, and. So sometimes even our harmless comments can hit very tender places. All of those things we talked about are just way more complicated and personal and complex than they might appear on the outside. Okay, let me end it at that. If I reached another mama's heart out there somewhere, that's all I intended with this video. I hope you feel seen and you know that you are not alone going through that and having certain fears. You are human and your fears are real, and you don't have to pretend that it's all easy and just fine and you're just gonna do it just because it's not your first time. I wish you all the best on your journey, whether you have or want to have 1 or 5 or how many kids. I hope you get what your heart desires. I wish you health for you and your kiddos, and fun in all of that, and a lot of support and understanding. And I hope that you can advocate for yourself the way you wish you maybe had the previous times. And if there's any trauma or just any bad experience from past pregnancies over birth or newborn stages or postpartum, I hope you get the healing you deserve. Once again, you are not alone. It's okay to be even more scared the second time around. You don't have to pretend you're this tough pro now. See you in the next one.